I try to be a good person. Like on Anzac Day, I always wear a poppy because I want to be respectful. But, I want to be the most respectful. Like my flat wall is covered in nothing but poppies. My garden grows nothing but poppies. I'm addicted to opium because I'm a patriot. I was walking through a World War II museum exhibit recently, and I accidentally bumped into a German woman, and she immediately said sorry. And I said, look, I don't think this was all your fault. But it was. I'm vegan, and everyone thinks that vegans are skinny and low in energy, but that's not true. I'm here to show you that vegans are also fat and low in energy. I went bungee jumping recently, and I didn't realise this, but when you go bungee jumping, they write your weight on your hands in permanent marker in what I describe as an offensively large font. And I was like, this is great because now I am ready to jump off a bridge. But as they're writing your weight down, you feel a need to explain yourself. Oh, I just had lunch. I just had lunch. I just had a pretty big lunch. I just had a pretty big lunch. I had two pretty big lunches. I just had two pretty big lunches every day for the past 5 years. A lot of people say they struggle with their weight. Personally, I found it quite easy to get this fat. I put up no resistance. And now the issue is these jokes go well enough that it's now in my economic interest not to lose any weight. Every time you laugh, that adds a calorie. I like that we live in countries with minimum wage and labour laws. I hate that American system of, at the end of your meal having to figure out a tip. But there are some places you go now, and when you go to pay, it pops up on the EFTPOS machine, do you want to leave a tip? And you have to push no in front of the person the tip would be going to. That'd be like if every time you didn't put coins in the Ronald McDonald House box, they live streamed it to the children. Sometimes when it's popped up, do you want to leave a tip? I've had the waiter push no for me. And I always think, God, how low is your self-esteem? But mostly I just feel relief, to be out of that awkward situation. I'm like, that's good customer service. If only there was some way I could show my appreciation. But there's not. I really hate it when comedians bandwagon, when they start supporting a social cause, but only after everybody else, already agrees with it. I hate, like there are comedians in New Zealand now who do jokes about how New Zealand should legalise gay marriage, even though it's already been legal for 10 years. And it's the best decision the government's ever made. I hate this sort of, acting like you're being this big martyr, but really you're just expressing an opinion that every person in the room already thinks. But there is one social cause I support. I think women should be allowed to vote. All right, I was expecting applause for that. But obviously I'm the only person who thinks that women should be allowed to vote. That's fine. I'm not afraid to go out on a limb and say women should be allowed to vote. You know, I've talked about it at gigs before. You know, a woman in the crowd said, "Oh, what about equal pay?" And I was like, "One thing at a time, ladies. You know, I'm trying to get you the vote." Men in the room, do you think women should be allowed to vote? A bit more silent than I would have liked. I don't need to ask the women what they think because I'm already speaking for them. Are you their woman? Who did you vote for? Are you not going to say? All right, so maybe not every woman should be allowed to vote, but most should. Most should. I don't have time to get into the nuance of my views. I think women should be allowed to vote. You know, obviously, I think women should be allowed to vote. You know, I think women should be allowed to vote. You know, I think women should be allowed to vote. You know, I think women should be. You know, I think women should be allowed to. You know, obviously, I think women should be allowed to vote. You know, I think men should get 2 votes. Or I think I've been really leery.